So I'm in a position where I have to constantly talk about how weird fucking people are because they're acting weird. So I wanted to go over some fucking normal shit. So let's start with the most normal of all, MQ. MQ is actually a person who had me blocked for the longest time. He's also a person, the only person that would be able to say he knows that I'm a fucking liar. And the reason is because I say that I don't take down any fucking post. The fact of the matter is I've only taken down one post, or maybe two or three, but the only one I actually fucking remember is one of his posts. Now back in the day, like I said, call it PTSD, call it a fucking spell, call it whatever. Anyway, I had a lot of things going on in my mind. And I used to just kind of repost shit without fucking really thinking about it, more about just how it affected me. Anyway, so one day I come across one of his posts. I end up reposting it because of the type of post it was. It was one of the few fucking things that kind of snapped me out of like, yo, like besides the other shit that's going on in my life, that's probably not the best thing to do as a graffiti writer, to repost his shit like that. I didn't know him. I didn't know anything about him. And so I ended up taking down that post. Now, the reason why I say that I think that, as far as I know, he was for the longest time the only one of the few people that could say, I know Charlie's a liar, by the fact knowing that I did take down one of my posts, even though I say I don't take any posts down, is because he ended up blocking me after that. Now, the funny thing, I'm just going to kind of go quick on it. The funny thing about MQ is that for the longest time, you see how his bomb is, his throw? I couldn't read the Q. So for the longest time, I didn't know that said MQ. He also he also writes it a different way as well. As well as I have that little mad face. So I also do that mad face in my shit. So in other words, what I'm kind of just summarizing there is, for the longest time, I actually knew that there were plenty of reasons. There were actually a few different reasons why, even if it was incorrect, even if it was all like a miscommunication, whatever, there would be reasons why MQ would think, yo, I could block him, or I would block him, as far as me, my account, soñando. Because like I said, I ended up reposting one of his things that kind of, in the graffiti world, it would have been fine, but like because of the fact my account is just more of a general account, and it just for mad reasons, it just wasn't, it was weird to repost it. I myself was like, yo, that's kind of, that was weird to take that and repost it, considering the fact that I don't know anything about him. The two other things with that real quick is where you could see he's throwing up, he's getting up on, it'll come up real quick, he's getting up on this wall over here by on Gary Street. The crazy thing about that is also one of the times I got arrested here in San Francisco for getting up or for doing graffiti was at that exact same spot. The crazy thing about it is, so because of the fact, basically I didn't know it was his spot, and then I found out it was his spot afterwards. The I Love Lucy thing is a crazy connection too, just because of the redheads in my fucking life. Long story short, with MQ is, I thought he was actually a New York writer. Like I thought his style is so New York that all this time I didn't even think he lived in SF. I thought he would just come to SF and visit, and then I found out the other day that now apparently he's here, whatever. But point being is, that relationship, out of all the relationships I've had online, whatever, that has been completely normal, even though he is the only one who has blocked me. The only thing that I find odd about, or not odd, the only thing I can say about it is it's an example of how I lie sometimes, and why I lie sometimes about weird shit like that. For example, the whole, I never take any of my posts down, even though factually taking down his post, having reposted it and then being like, yo, I should take it down, was a very, to this day I still remember, because it was a very big deal, because it was the only, like I said, it's one of the few normal interactions where I reacted to it a certain way, he reacted to it a certain way, and I feel like I fully understand it. He seems to fully understand it. Point being on that too is that for a while, the only connection I knew was through this other Instagram account. So on this other Instagram account for the longest time, for years, I'd be like, yo, why is MQ blocking me? Like, that's the craziest shit. And I meant it somewhat really truly, in the sense of, I didn't really think it was appropriate for him to block me. It's just that I could understand how he could think that. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, For a long time, I kept saying, yo, why MQ is blocking me? Why is MQ blocking me? Then he unblocked me. So that's how normal this shit is. So moving on for that shit. Just saying like, yo, realistically, somehow or another, my relationship with MQ, even though he's the one who blocked me at one point in time, it has been the most normal. So then we go to this other person right here. I don't know what the fuck's going on, yo. It's not fucking going. There, nah, man. Shit, man. All right, so TD, apologize for that shit. TD, another one, mad normal. For the most part. So TD, he just basically finished doing his visiting all 50 states. Mad congratulations for me personally as a Bronx writer, as a Bronx person who started graffiti in the Bronx. Mad, I'm just proud of him for doing it. You know what I mean? Like it's just I'm proud of him for representing the Bronx and himself that way. Anyway, what ended up happening is you can see he ended up hitting up a spot here in San Francisco. I actually kind of talking about weird shit because as you can see on my account, even though I take mad pictures of graffiti, I don't take a lot of pictures of graffiti of that type of graffiti. Basically, to summarize it, the graffiti I would do or other people, you know, like that, I don't take pictures of that type of graffiti. So even though I really wanted to take a picture of it, I didn't want to because I didn't want to because it's not my style, and also I didn't want people being confused of like, yo, like I'm trying to like, you know, be all up in the graffiti world when that's actually not what I'm doing. So anyway, what ended up happening is I ended up running fucking out of aluminum foil, and I ended up going to Japantown, and then I missed my stop at the bus stop, and then I got off the fucking bus, and it was right in front of me, so I ended up taking a picture of it. So I took a picture of it, tagged him on it. As you can see, he replied, normal shit. Also, what's normal about it is he's replying on Parallelogram, which is kind of like my backup account, instead of on Soñando. Now, why I say that's normal, even though it could be seen from other things I've said in the past, is because as you can see on my main account, my Soñando, I wrote, yo, I'm not looking for followers. For me, for him to have left that comment and to follow that account is perfectly appropriate. In other words, I understand. There's also, just to kind of clarify it as well, even though I have a lot of other personal things going on, with him, he's never indicated. There's no, I don't know how to put it. There's just nothing fucking weird about it. There is nothing fucking weird about it. The only weird thing about it is I would appreciate being able to talk to him. You know what I'm saying? But it's not even about necessarily anything. So that's like, there's nothing, what I'm saying is there's really nothing weird about that. And then you take somebody like, Wips One. So Wips, I fucking get up to this shit. He ends up leaving this comment on another post that I did. So basically, instead of leaving it on Parallelogram, he ends up following my account again. Basically, this post is saying I blocked him. Now, again, it's another one of those lies. I didn't block him. What I did was remove him. The reason why I ended up removing him is basically just this, a summary quick is, at this fucking point in time, I definitely have issues with COD Crew, and at least told them from TC5 and how they've acted towards the communicating with me about the death of one of my friends, right? There's no thing. The thing is, when I thought about it, Wips hasn't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, in other words, Wayne blocked me, Totem blocked me, Wips hasn't blocked me. So I'm like, all right, he hasn't, maybe I'm thinking of things incorrectly. Maybe they're not talking as much as possible, as much as I thought. In other words, I had thought to myself, maybe it's because I always saw their names together. There's no way when I'm going to be doing something without Wips knowing, what's going on. It just didn't seem right? But then the way things went down, I'm like, wait, maybe I'm incorrect about Wips. But then he comes back to my account leaving this fucking stupid comment about like, I don't even know you. Again, just understand this. This is 2021 that we're talking about, right? If I go back I didn't feel like scrolling through, but this is basically, if you've never seen this before, this is just kind of your raw data from Instagram. So in 2011, in 2016, on July 11th, 2016, I wrote this post because this nigga and Wips One, the same person saying I don't know anything about you all, is years ago. Years ago. This is just one of many posts. I did this entire post because he ended up liking one of my posts. So in 2016, he was already paying attention to my account. This particular post is not a post that I'm posting trying to get his attention. It's a post that I had already posted because I had already gotten his attention. Also, the main thing to understand is this is 2016. At this time that I'm also trying to get his attention, had already gotten his attention, along with other things that I'm writing about, like talking about the fact that I used to write in the same neighborhood, and I end up mentioning, at least in some of these posts, that I'm looking for my friend Blitz, Ralph, the person who is now deceased. He ended up passing away, I believe, in fortunately 2018. At a time that, again, I was still communicating with Wips and Wayne from COD Crew. These people are actually, they're interacting on my account. Again, at the time, I didn't think that my friend Ralph was still in communication with them, but I had put out there that, yeah, I'm trying to look for him. And for some reason, while he was alive, all they had to do was tell me, yo, this is his Instagram account. It would have been done. It would have been over and done with. But instead, they kept me from being able to communicate with him when he was alive. And then after he passed away, they kept me from even understanding or having any kind of closure on the fact that he passed away. And for some reason, these are the same people, you know what I'm saying, that are coming to my account still in 2001, trying to be like, yo, I don't even know you. Best of life. Thank you. Got me confused. All right. Again, that's what I'm saying. Like, I thought I did, but why you coming? This post really has nothing to, this is a post about SFPD. SFPD is a post about the fact that I prayed for a police officer to die, and the next day a police officer died. A very serious, very real situation, and he's coming to my account, leaving that kind of comments, again, as if he has no idea who I am or what's going on. And this is a person that has been interacting with my account since 2016. Now, I don't know why. That's the whole problem. I don't know why he is determined to make it seem, to basically make me seem totally different than what it is. But that is what's happening. So hopefully this is fairly quick. But like I'm saying, somehow or another, two bombers, TD and MQ, which realistically I had always thought to myself, if anything, graffiti bombers normally, if there's going to be problems or misunderstandings, that's where the misunderstandings happens. And somehow or another, I got one from the Bronx and then one from San Francisco. Apparently, he's also from New York, too, though. We've had zero issues. We've never met, basically very similar to Wips One, except that, other than, the Wips One, there is an actual personal connection. You know what I'm saying? But MQ and TD, just purely from internet. One of them blocked me. You know what I'm saying? Completely seems to have understood what happened, even without me having to have explained it. Ended up unblocking me. The other one, you know what I'm saying? Like, the only odd thing about it is, because of the amount of times I've seen him on live and the certain information I've been able to obtain that he has said, it seems as if we should be able to talk outside of, you know what I mean? Like, about real shit too. But I can't, I'm not weird in the sense of I don't expect that from him. I can understand that. Wips One's a very different kind of situation because this is a person who's actually kind of sought out, likes some of my posts, knows a lot about what's going on, and is trying to act as if it has no reason, has no idea what's going on. And that is very strange because, again, one world is just all graffiti. Again, MQ, TD, realistically, we're only just talking about graffiti. Wips One, we're not. And he's trying to make it seem as that. And that's what's very strange about it. So if this isn't under 10 minutes, I'm going to end up redoing this again. Most of y'all, I'm going to end up tagging on this. Hopefully, you don't fucking start acting weird. But if you do, you do. But, if you end up seeing me post this more than once and tagging you on it, that's basically why. But for everybody else, there's an example of is not that I don't have or haven't had normal interactions and relationships with people via the internet. It's just that it's so fucking rare, and it's honestly because there's really nothing weird about it. It's somewhat embarrassing to do it, and Wips happened to have been leaving that comment. And, at the same time all this has happened, and so at least I'm able to kind of give you an example, like an actual real example of what has been normal relationships with other graffiti writers and people on the internet, and what is a fucking odd relationship that has happened. So yeah, there's that.